Hey guys, hope everything is going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH underscore sports. Follow me on my finance channel at AIH Finance. Okay, I wanted to discuss a few things today. Firstly, I got some comments the last few days regarding my view of investments in the hobby. And I saw a lot of passionate discussion in my comment section. I may do a video on that in the coming days. Um, I've talked about what I believe is or are investments in collectibles. So, I understand there are people that have just subscribed to me or just started watching my videos. That's fine. You could go through my other videos and check it out. I will try to respond to some of these. So, I wanted to address a few things and I wanted to look at hype, right? And this latest Star Wars transaction that went through. And I wanted to just discuss a little bit. And Okay, I wanted to read this one comment that I got, and I'm not going to read all of it, it's just pretty long. The one example you gave of a pump and dump, you used a 1 out of 1 Kurosawa Star Wars card. The transaction was a one off from one industry content provider who spends a lot of money traveling to card shows all around the country and to another guy in dabs. If you actually understand finance, and then he says something in quotes, you know your Star Wars card example is akin to an IB guy selling an assets to a hedge fund guy. Well, I would disagree with that. This looks more like a penny stock hype, market hype, pump and dump. I've seen how penny stock pump and dumps work. I've outlined examples from over a decade ago. I've talked about Jonathan Labed. You have to remember there's not too much volume in penny stock transactions. Hedge funds, what they do is they buy and sell, you could say hundreds of thousands of shares, millions of shares, etc. And in a market that is very, I would call it illiquid, people disagree with me. Some people say inelastic. I've discussed in many of my videos. It's very easy to move price and it's very easy to use market hype to your advantage. And once again, I've discussed this in my previous videos. But I wanted to go to this one paper by Josh Luber, and it's what trading cards are cool again. I remember the great curator did a few videos outlining this, and I think She Collects Cards did a video on this as well. I wasn't too bullish on Josh Luber becoming the CEO of Fanatics, and people are questioning me then. And then we see quite a few things happening. The botched up with Zero Cool cards, as I've mentioned, what happened with Zero Cool. A lot of people didn't like it. And in addition, you had the problem with Gary V and potentially copying Karen Ritchie's characters from her book. What was it, Determined Dolphin and Gratitude Gorilla, something like that. So looks like hanky panky going on. But anyways, there was also shield bidding on the secondary market. And before I dive into that again, I wanted to look at just one simple part of his paper, Josh Luber's paper, where he talks about how trading cards are cool again. And he was talking about how Nike and Supreme have mastered the art of managing supply and demand. And basically, it appears that he wants to do the same thing with what he's going to do at Fanatics. Whether he's going to remain or not, that's the question. But if he does, this is his plan. And this is what he said. He said the logic is pretty simple. Create limited release products where demand exceeds supply. Okay, the great curator talked a lot about demand and supply and demand. Step two, this is where the great curator did not touch base on. And I think this is probably the most important sentence in his paper. Flame the demand imbalance to generate brand heat and hype. Once again, question, or not question, underline that word hype, that comes from kids lining up to buy your t-shirts or causing the latest drop to trend on Twitter. Translate that heat into thousands of new customers and loyalists such that you can increase supply and capture more profit while maintaining the scarcity of step one. So, long story short, what they're trying to do is trying to take advantage of the short term hype because that's when the price goes higher. And if you look at with sports cards, this is what, in my opinion, influencers are doing. A lot of people gave me heat saying that, hey, you don't go to the shows and you shouldn't be commenting on this because you don't go to the shows. I don't go to that many shows because the chance of making the same amount of profit from 2018, 2019, when I was investing and speculating, you don't have the same ROI you're going to get. And that's why I'm not as aggressive as I was 2018, 2019, 2020. 2020, I was buying weird cards. Right now, the market is based on hype, and that is artificially driving prices higher, like the PMGs and F1, etc. And because all the cards are going down, so people are bored and they're trying to pump these cards up and sell it to their loyalists, right? And the loyalists will call out the guys and gals that they like. But anyways, looking at hype, right? Market hype. So people question me, it's like, how dare you say this is a pump and dump? How dare you say this is manipulating their loyalists? Okay, PSA 10, Luke Skywalker. What did it sell at? What, $55,000? And now there was a video asking, is this Star Wars card, Kurosawa card, $100,000? When the Luke Skywalker, some people would call that a card they want to get, sold at $55,000, but that was over, what, close to a year ago? And if you look at the PSA 9s, right? PSA 9 of Luke Skywalker, $3,600. So we had a card that Melly World, he got for pennies, right? He said because he wanted for his collection. This was his Grail card. But then he got $5,000. It was no longer his Grail card, okay? And then Curator had it. Curator sold it to Dab Sports, somewhere between, what was it, $15,000, $20,000? Someone correct me if I'm wrong about that, okay? And now it's suddenly the valuation is $100,000 when Luke Skywalker card goes for $55,000. In my opinion, this is hype. And like I said, the great curator did videos about Josh Luber. Nowhere did I remember seeing him talking about how hype is most likely on the radar of Josh Luber and how you take advantage of short-term, or how you take advantage of these situations. You sell into the hype, you buy when no one else is looking at it, and then it's a game of musical chairs. It could continue on. Then you could get some flippers who see, hey, look, you see all of this activity going on, and then they want to jump on the bandwagon. And then PSA, and then Golden, and then Card Ladder. You know, they're all one company, by the way. They say, oh, look at these record sales. It's beating the S&P, you know, like all of this craziness. But in reality, this is just a short-term fix. If you look at the 1990s, I remember reading articles from the Tribune. I did in videos, 2-3 months ago. And I found this earlier this year, these papers or these articles. And it said that, look, there are people that take advantage of short-term news events. For instance, when Michael or Magic Johnson had AIDS, right? The price of some of his collectibles went up, but then the prices went down as soon as, he was going to get better. He wasn't using the drug AZT, unlike Arthur Ashe. And there was, OJ Simpson, right? There was a lot of hype around OJ Simpson and his collectibles during the trial, or right when the news was announced that I think his ex-wife was killed, and I think her partner Goldman. So you have all of this hype going on, and people take advantage of it. It's just a short-term fix. And I always talk about fragility. This strategy that is used by the influencers is very fragile. I'm always about being anti-fragile. And people say, hey, don't be negative, don't be negative. Well, that's not how markets work. People have all sorts of emotions. Some are positive, sometimes people are negative, etc. The reason why I believe some people say be positive is because you cannot generate the hype when you have people like me saying, hey, look, let's try to be objective, right? If you're overly positive, overly optimistic, you cannot artificially increase the price. And that's why I believe that what's going on in the sports card hobby, and what was even done during the boom, it was artificial scarcity and hype. And people were getting away with it because you had all that gravy train free money from the Federal Reserve, all printing money, you had PPP loans, you had all of that stuff. And it's just quite interesting. Now that's gone, and influencers are trying to find the next best thing to dump onto their individuals or to their followers and to the community that they so trust, because it goes in it's just like when we're kids, right? Remember, we used to go to the one video game to the next. That's how it is. This is not how markets work. And this is just trying to market cards, and you're trying to price them more than some of the great cards from the 1970s of Star Wars. It doesn't make any rational sense, and it's a game of musical chairs. Some people will definitely make money, but ultimately, there's going to be a lot of angry people. PMGs crash hard. You're going to have the Star Wars things come burning down. Remember Fleer 86? It came burning down. A lot of people got hurt. People weren't really buying when it was quiet. A lot of people were buying the hype. And it's this hype, that everyone should be educated about. And if you don't talk about this, people are going to be very salty in the next few years, when I do believe we're going to have that recession. I don't think the recession's coming now. Everyone's talking about recession. See, I'm being objective, right? I'm not as bearish in the next 1 to 2 years as a lot of people are. Okay? And no one says that. No one says, hey, you're being positive. No, I'm being objective. And I think that is one of the problems in the sports card hobby, where they want to be speculators, but you just want to be positive. That is very detrimental if you're investing, speculating, etc. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this. And you have to remember, when people were talking about the Luber paper, no one was talking about hype, because hype is clearly in here. I think it's very interesting. And I wanted to leave on this point. So I'm just wondering, when Fanatics had that Zero Cool product come out, I wonder if they were behind the shill bidding going on in the secondary market. Sounds crazy, but how do you generate hype? You see all these record prices on eBay. Now, that being said, I probably think that shill bidding came from group breakers, because the group breakers bought all this product from Fanatics, and they're just trying to artificially artificially trying to increase the price. So anyways, let me know what you think about all this. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thank you. Bye.